Hey everybody, Sean here, and I hope you're doing well. The Hebrew Roots movement is what we'll look at today, so let's jump right in. The Hebrew Roots movement started in the 1900s and really started to make ground in the 1990s when Dean and Susan Wheelock received their federal trademark for the term Hebrew Roots. Others refer to this movement as an awakening. Menachem Kaiser is a journalist who published an in-depth article on Hebrew Roots for Tablet Magazine, and he reports this movement as having roughly 200 to 300,000 members worldwide, and most have joined in the past 15 years. But that was written in 2014, so obviously the numbers would be a bit different now. The basis for this movement is that the church has strayed from the true teachings and Hebrew concepts of the Bible and has been corrupted with paganism and beliefs of Greek and Roman philosophy. They also believe that the Greek text has been corrupted and is therefore unreliable. There are many Hebrew Roots groups that do have variations in their teachings, but all stick to the common focus on recovering the original Jewishness of Christianity. They believe that Jesus and his Jewish disciples lived in obedience to the Torah and that we should as well. That includes keeping the Sabbath on Saturday, celebrating Jewish feasts and festivals, keeping the dietary laws, and avoiding the paganism of Christianity in regards to the celebration of Christmas and Easter. And many Christians agree with them in regards to celebrations, yet are not part of this movement. This is the main reason that followers of this movement don't call themselves Christians, yet don't call themselves Jews, because that would mean a renouncement of faith in Jesus. But the most serious issue here comes from the misunderstanding of certain biblical covenants, and they believe that the law was intended to be observed by all people throughout history. Some of this rationale comes from statements from Jesus, like in Matthew 5:17 that says, "Do not think that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill." And then they pair it up with John 14:15, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." But we know that in 1 John 5, it says that God's commandments are not burdensome. Jesus tells us in John 15 that if we keep his commandments, we will abide in his love. And in verse 12, he tells us his command, and that's to love each other as he's loved us. If we go back to Matthew 5:17 and look at how Jesus fulfilled the law, he did this by living a sinless life as shown in 2 Corinthians 5:21, and dying as the ultimate sacrifice. He became our Passover lamb and canceled the debt for our sin by nailing it to the cross. That's why Paul could say that if we are saved by faith, we are no longer under the law. And we see this in Romans and in Galatians. So by implying that keeping the old covenant law is walking in a so-called higher path and is the only way to really please God and receive his blessings is treading on thin ice. Nowhere in the Bible do we find Gentile believers being instructed to follow Levitical laws or Jewish customs. Another good verse is Romans 7:6. "But now, by dying to what once bound us, we have been released from the law so that we serve in the new way of the Spirit and not in the old way of the written code." And we'll finish off with Paul speaking to the Galatians in chapter 3. He says, "You foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Before your very eyes, Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed as crucified. I would like to learn just one thing from you. Did you receive the Spirit by observing the law or by believing what you heard? Are you so foolish? After beginning with the Spirit, are you now trying to attain your goal by human effort?" I don't think Paul is suggesting that they lost their salvation or anything. He's just emphasizing how ridiculous it is to think that following the law will add anything to their salvation. There is a lot more online you can find out, but hopefully this has given a basic understanding of some of the problems in this movement. So as always, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below, and until next time, take care and God bless.